Week 7 is done. Gentlemen, NFL is just flying at us right now. I mean, each week is coming and it's going. Um, damn, what about this Monday night game that we just finished realizing? Anybody want to kind of summarize week 7 in a nutshell?
Yeah, I said shocker, man. I mean, raise your hand if you thought that the Vikings were going to put it upset and beat the 49ers. Nobody. Like, I mean, that was a crazy game. Jordan Addison, rookie wide receiver for the Vikings, played good in Justin Jefferson absent. Just imagine when they get Jefferson back, they're going to have two studs there. And they got the running game going a little bit. I don't think Kirk Cousins was touched all night. I don't think he got sacked. He had a clean pocket, was throwing about, I think he threw for over 350 plus yards. Big game, couple touchdowns. Like, I think their defense played pretty good. Brock Purdy, I'm not gonna say he reverted back to just an ordinary quarterback. He came back down a little bit the past 2 weeks. Threw a couple of picks last night. They were getting after him. I mean, they were dealing with some injuries on the offensive line. McCaffrey was banged up. Deebo Samuel didn't play, but dang man, I like what I seen from the Minnesota Vikings last night, and nobody thought they was gonna pull that off last night. And on any given day, Sunday, Monday, a team can be had.
Hey man, I like Jerry said, I was live in that game and I had so much fun, man. I felt like the local radio guy calling the plays at the very end of the game, man. It was fun. I think Stephen White was on with me, so that was fun. But no, man, just looking at the game, I have to give a lot of credit to Kevin O'Connell. He called a hell of a game, man. Like if you go back and look at that game, it almost like, when you play Tecmo Bowl and you call the same play your opponent calls and they blitz, like that's what it felt like, man, throughout the whole game. Brian Flores called a great game as well. I think they just had a great game plan coming in, and I think the difference was not everybody's going to say Kirk Cousins, but those receivers, man, they caught some big time catches, in those tight windows, and they got hit hard, and they just kept coming every night, man. They would not stop. So it was a great game by the Vikings, but hey, man, any given Sunday, right? Like you said, Kendall.
Any given Sunday. Well, let's get right into it, right? I mean, let's go ahead and go back. I mean, we go back and we started off with the Jags and Saints. I think we kind of briefly touched on it, but still, I mean, the Jags came out. They beat the Saints. I know Kendall at the beginning of the season, you convinced me. I know you convinced me myself personally that the Saints might have had probably the free ticket to get all the way into the playoffs and maybe even lock up the maybe perhaps be in contention for a first seat in the playoffs. But what is going on with the Saints, guys?
I think it's a lot. I mean, boy, do I look crazy now after saying that. I mean, offensive line issues. Derek Carr not the same page with receivers. Chris Olave, Michael Thomas is. I don't think he's all the way back, but he's been playing okay, better than what he's been. He's been on the field. Kamara's still getting back. The defense has been pretty strong for the most part, but the offensive play call, oh, that's been a mess, man. I don't know what's going on with Saints, and it's not a talent issue. They got plenty of talent down there. It's not a talent issue. I think it's more of a play calling issue, like just getting the guys in the right plays and just getting them in the right, just get in the right position. It's been a mess down in New Orleans. I'm surprised. I actually thought they should have been running away with that division, but it's not. Them and Carolina are trying to be the worst teams in the division, and Tampa Bay and Atlanta are leading it right now.
Yeah, I think Kendall's right, man. That team had the opportunity to run away with that division, and they just
plenty of talent.
They did, man. And I think in the game versus man, I forgot who did he just play?
Jacksonville.
Look, man, they were down by a lot, and they came back to almost win that game. Is it Morier? I can't really say his name, the tight end. If he would have caught that ball, that would have been tie game, but he dropped it. So to me, I think the offense is there. I think they just need to play a little bit more. But Derek Carr was not happy with Carmichael. He was really upset, man. Like maybe he's just frustrated that he's not calling the calls the way he's supposed to be calling them. And maybe
he was
Derek
going
Carr,
off on Olave too.
Yeah, so it's weird, man. They just got to get it together. I think if they get it together, they could win some games.
Got a little love right here. Some Jay Fonda here. What's up, fellas?
What's
We
up,
saw
Jay
I
Fonda?
saw, I saw you on TikTok right now. I was gonna give you a little shout out. Uh, and and if we look at it right now, the Jaguars are 14th ranked. They have the 14th ranked offense and the 26th ranked defense. They're 27th in NFL with their third down efficiency. The Saints are the 17th ranked offense and the fourth ranked defense with the 26.
Ooh.
They're ranked 26 in the NFL in third down efficiency. So they're right neck and neck with obviously both these teams. They have been struggling. They're in the lower half of the NFL with their third down efficiency. But I mean, if you look at it, it should have been a Saints victory with 17 ranked offense versus the 14th ranked offense in the Jags, fourth ranked defense for the Saints with a 26th ranked defense in the Jags, and that defense looked crazy. What does Jay Fonda say? He goes, Carr was yelling at Olave for doing 75 and a 35, then telling the cop, "Man, I play for the Saints, cop."
That's
That's a
funny.
good one. That's a good one. I like that one. Next up, Falcons defeat the Buccaneers 16-13. This one was a very, very close game, guys.
Yeah, divisional foe. Falcons defeated Tampa Bay. Little strange situation going on there with Bijan Robinson. Yet didn't get no care. They say he was sick or was ill during the game. So I don't know what's going on there. I think they're investigating that last thing I seen. But yeah, Falcons got a win. Saying like kind of like Tampa's kind of came back to earth these last few weeks. Baker Mayfield's been a turnover machine, turned the ball over. Then they got Buffalo. We can get to that game here in a little bit. They got Buffalo in a couple of days on Thursday Night Football. So maybe they can bounce back then. But good win by the Falcons.
Man, I picked the Bucks to win in this one, especially at home. I don't know, man. I honestly thought the Bucks were gonna take this. I thought, if you look at the team veteran wise, they're a lot more, mature team, and the Falcons are a lot bit younger, man, but they pulled it out. Ritter had 250 yards passing and no touchdowns and no interceptions, but Baker Mayfield had 275, one touchdown, interception. I didn't get the game, man. I don't understand. You got Mike Evans, he had 82 yards, but to me, I just thought they're a way more talented team than the Falcons are, man. They should have won that game. And that's 2 in a row because they should have, they lost to the Lions 20-6, I believe. And then they come back and they lose again, man. If they're not careful, they might they might lose that division because right now the Falcons are the division leaders in that division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did you know that that right now the Atlanta Falcons have the third ranked defense in the NFL?
Oh wow, did not know that.
Wow.
Their defense have been playing good. The 1 week, the couple weeks I did see them playing against Carolina. I think Green Bay defense has been playing pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean when you look at their third down efficiency, Atlanta's ranked 15th in the NFL at 39% efficiency rate on third down. And Tampa Bay is ranked 10th with 43.21% third down efficiency. So, this one I would have picked Tampa also. It's just one of them things where um, damn. I mean, you just see that it's we thought that Baker had got rid of these, these little things joining the Bucks. But dang, it's like the same old Baker, right? I read a
Yeah.
report that Jerry said he likes what we have. I gotta play Ultra for a minute. I'm tired of being the last when it comes to players available. Can we please make a splash? I saw that report too. He's talking about Jerry Jones saying that he's happy with the actual. Um, hey Queen, shout out to Queen real quick. Queen giving us some gifts there on TikTok right now. Thank you, appreciate the love on TikTok. I mean, it's wild, right? Because at this point, how can we make these predictions? How can we make these predictions in the NFL if it's not working out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you look at the game and then you look at okay, statistically speaking, I mean, these guys are pretty good on third down and whatnot, but it's just a surprising game overall. Raiders lose to the Bears. Wow. I think the Bears were, I guess, one of the last winless teams, right? I believe the other one is the Carolina Panthers.
Well, the Bears have they won this one, then they won
Without
they
Justin
won
Fields.
They won this one with it Tyson Baggett or Badgett, the
Yeah,
quarterback.
Yep.
Division
Yeah, it
two.
looked pretty. Yeah, I forgot what name the school he went to, but it looked pretty good against the Raiders team. That I don't think the Raiders know if they're coming or going. Man, one week they look good, and next week they revert back. Devontae Adams, I think he wants out. If I'm Adams, I'll probably try to get back to Green Bay. They could use some help. We can get into that game here a little bit, but yeah, good win by the Bears. Win that game at home or whatnot without Fields. I think Fields out with a wrist surgery or a finger injury or something like that. But he's out. But yeah, good win by Chicago. Brian Hoyer threw a couple picks. Adams dropped a clear-cut touchdown. Like would have scored there. But yeah, good win by the Bears. Get back in the win column there.
Look at this. Look at this. I hate to cut you off, Harva. Remember, if I say your name and you are on TikTok, make sure everybody that's listening on TikTok or YouTube go follow them. Help them get to 1,000. It'd be nice, for people to go live, but that's the number that you got to reach. RCX Sports Collectibles. Looks like you have a respectable name, but your takes are just not generic. I mean, they're very generic. He says week 7 was the only week Dallas didn't lose. Wow.
The only week?
I
I like it.
mean, I don't know. RCX Sports Collectibles. Gotta come a little bit better with it.
He definitely doesn't collect punchlines, that's for sure.
Stephen White.
Stephen
Hi,
White.
y'all.
What's good in?
Que hubo, Jerry, Javier, and Ken. He gives you the love too, Ken.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Steve.
Jay Fonda says, would you give up a first, a third, either Lewis or Izzy for certain? I think that gets it done. Damn.
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, would you trade for Surtain, period? What about you, Kendall?
Well, for y'all, I mean,
period.
Just in general.
Oh yeah, he's a real good corner. Probably one of the top corners in the league. Yeah, I would do it. He's still in his rookie contract. Denver gonna have to pay him here pretty soon. This is what, his 4th year. Did he come out with Diggs or a year after Diggs?
He came out with Micah
Parsons.
Okay, yeah, he came out. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I would do it. I mean, he got another year on his contract after this one, yeah. So you probably have time, yeah. So you won't have to pay him till next year. So yeah, I would definitely do it. Young, good, and then look at long term. You'll have 2 Alabama corners there. Gilmore's probably going after this year, so you will have Diggs and Surtain, Bland in the slot. That's a nice young nucleus there.
Jay Fonda says Surtain and Diggs would be the best cornerback duo for the next 10 years.
This is what I would say. A first and a third, and Izzy or Lewis, I would not give that up. That's too much.
I don't know. We'll see, man. The Browns.
I don't know, Harvey. I don't think it's too much, man. If you get
I would give a first, but a first, a third, and Lewis or Izzy, no, that's too much. That's too much. I'll give you a first in the 2025 draft.
Would you really need Lewis? Because you got Bland, and I mean, you got 3 young corners there. Lewis, I mean, your 4th corner. I mean, he's not really. Would you really need Lewis at that point?
Just in case somebody gets hurt, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Queen says the Cowboys are the most judged team, no matter if we win or lose or don't even play. I mean, I haven't seen mainstream media go after the 49ers. I mean, 49ers are the team to beat in the NFC right now. Many, including myself, gave them the edge over the Eagles, but shoot, the Eagles right now are leading the division 6-1, Harv. 6-1.
Yep.
Let's see here. Browns defeat the Colts 39-38.
That was a strange game.
That was
very
weird
strange. With Deshaun Watson getting hurt, what's going on there with his shoulder. Myles Garrett was going off. They got the running game going, caused a few fluky penalties there in the red zone. I don't think they should have did that. I'm surprised how good the Colts are playing, though. I'm very surprised. I thought the Browns were going to manhandle them there in Indianapolis, but yeah, good win by the Browns, man. They're trending. They're trending in the right direction. Nobody's talking about them.
Yeah, so for me, when I was watching the game, the end of the game was kind of weird. I almost want to go back and look at the game and see if the Browns got any yards. I think they were all penalties, man. all the way down towards the end of the game when they scored for the winning touchdown. It was weird, but yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the Colts, man, I think they did a bad mistake by playing Anthony Richardson so early. It got him hurt, and not signing Taylor. I think it's a disaster over there. I don't know what Israel's doing, but man, that team is a lot more talented than we thought. And I think Jerry called that too at the beginning of the season. That team is really good, man. I'm almost willing to bet, man, if they get it together, they could go on a run here late, especially the way, I mean, the Jags are leading it, but they're kind of up and down, man. So, but they have a really young, good team. Their defense is really good too.
I'm going to agree with you guys. It was a very it was a crazy game, right?
It
But
was.
I mean, at the end, Gardner, I can't believe Gardner's still able to play. Get the ball out and get Alex Pierce making some crazy plays. Josh Downs went off, the rookie wide receiver, and Michael Pittman too almost made some big plays towards the end, the back half, especially in the back half. Commanders lose to the Giants. Now we're talking about intra-division here in the NFC East. Giants 14, Commanders 7. And Josh and Jonathan Allen does not look like a happy camper. That's just all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, divisional game, Giants. I mean, came out on top. Washington not looking good, man. They started out what 2-0, kind of reverted back down to earth. Just the last month or so, in the last few weeks of the season, man. Sam Howard, he's been a turnover machine. Offensive line not playing good. Defense has been average. I really thought defense could have been better. It's kind of getting better. And while then you got the D tackle Allen going off there in the press conference and whatnot. So I mean, dang man. Watching the interest team trade deadline. I want to watch what goes on there.
I mean, this game was kind of. I thought the Commanders should have won this game, but the Giants somehow they're pulling out. And I'll tell you what, the Giants have to be looking back and saying, "Why did we sign Daniel Jones, man?" I think Taylor's either doing the same kind of job or even better. He's actually pushing them down the field. Look at the last two games. Buffalo, he drove him down the field. Yeah, he doesn't do anything fancy, but he's a lot cheaper than what you're paying Daniel Jones for probably a little bit more production.
I will say, I want to say one thing about Tyrod Taylor. Like, ever since I've watched Tyrod Taylor, he likes to push the ball down the field. So I don't know. I recently heard, Tyrod Taylor is just a guy. He ain't gonna push the ball down the field. No, that guy will push the ball down the field. Yep. He's never been afraid to take shots, especially when he was with Buffalo, man. He would push that ball down the field. But go ahead, Harry. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. But that's my point. Like, and not only that, but we're hearing rumors that some of their staff are all at all these games where all the top quarterbacks in this next year draft, they're there. Some top executives are there watching these players. So, man, I don't know, man. You got to think like we made a mistake. I don't know, but I think they look like a better football team on the offensive side of the ball when Taylor's playing. That's just my opinion. That's an eyeball that has nothing to do with stats, none of that context stuff. They just look better from an eyeball view as an offense, in my opinion. But hey, I got somebody on TikTok that's interesting. It's Brian Meyer. He says thoughts on Minnesota and their upcoming schedule. Right?
Yeah, they got a weak schedule.
I just thought about that because they just beat the Niners, right? So they have the Packers, the Falcons, the Saints, Broncos, and Bears.
They can win all them games. They can. Will they? I don't know, but they can win all those games.
Now, listen, they did lose those games. Those 4 games they lost them what, by 1 point? Is that what they said, or less? Or no, not 1 point. Was it 1 score? I can't even remember.
They don't think they got blown out, nothing like that.
Well, right now the Lions are 5-2 in that division. The Vikings are 3-4. And with the Vikings, they have coming up, they have the Packers, the Falcons, the Saints, the Broncos, the Bears, and the Raiders, right?
I think they're going to be favored in all those games.
Up until December 17, they face off against the Bengals, and then they will face off against the Lions again. Let me see, December 24th, right on Christmas Eve.
In Minnesota, right?
Yes, in Minnesota, and then they finish it off with the Packers, and then the Lions again.
They got a nice
Yeah.
home field advantage too. It gets kind of loud up in there.
They've lost by a touchdown or less, man, in every game they've lost.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
But who would have thought? I really thought the Lions were going to run away with this thing, but
Yeah, so did
uh,
I.
I mean, what's going on with the Lions? We'll definitely address that when we get to it. Let's see here. It was 38-6 with the Lions. The Bills actually losing to Kendall's Patriots. Patriots 29, the Bills
Look at that.
25, man.
They don't know if they want to win or they want to lose. What do you want to do,
Man,
Kendall?
I'm trying to tell you, man.
Hey, Kendall,
Yeah.
I've heard Patriot fans are already in full tank mode, man.
What?
Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm one of them, man.
Nah.
Like I'm one of them.
Nah,
Hey, we win.
Kendall, say it
We
ain't so.
win. We win this Sunday in Miami. Let's go out. I'm all in. Let's go for it. Let's go for the win. But hey, we lose. There's no point of winning 6 or 7 wins. Messing up. I want Marvin Harrison Jr. Either give me Marvin Harrison me or Drake May me in the top 5. That's what I want next year. But to be a top, we're gonna mess around and watch what I tell you. We're gonna come back this, save this. We're gonna mess around and win 7 or 8 games, and we're gonna go from picking top 5 to we're gonna be picking between 15 and 18 pick. Ain't gonna mess up our draft position. Like so, right now.
With that win, Kendall, it moved you guys down to 6. You guys had the 3rd overall draft pick.
Yeah, so it moved us to 6, and we got some winnable games coming. We got Washington, Indy, the Giants. So we're gonna mess around, win 7 or 8 games, man. But good game playing against Buffalo. Now this is not a strong Buffalo team in the past. I think we said this season something before the schedule came out, before the season started, that something strange was going on there in Buffalo. So like every time Josh Allen throws an interception, Stephon Diggs in his face and shout at him or something like that. Like it's something going on there. They got a lot of injuries. Offensive line's a mess right now, but hats off to that Patriots defensive line. Christian Barmore was a wreck. Anthony Jennings, Matt Jones, second comeback win of his second game-winning drive of his career, whatnot. Good win. Pop Demario Douglas has been balling for the Patriots. I like running. Zeke scored again. We got the running game going. We've been playing some good ball, man. And I just think it was a good. Everybody was funny. Everybody was calling for Bill Belichick's job the past couple of weeks. Have you heard anybody say anything about it the past couple of days? They haven't. And then Bill Belichick did get an extension. Tune in to Kansas Pat start to hear more about that. But Bill Belichick did get an extension or whatnot. So he's going to be there for the foreseeable future. But overall, it's a good win. It just feels better when you win. It feels so much better.
A win always helps out. Jay Fonda says Tyrod Taylor needs to start for the Giants the rest of the year. He also said today on Speak they were talking about Hurts turnovers this year. Then for the next 10 minutes they talked about Dak and how his turnover prone. Do they even think about what they speak? I mean, look, right now I think he's leading I think right now Jalen Hurts, right? And I don't like to boast about this because this is not my team, number one. But I believe Jalen Hurts is leading the NFL in interceptions. I think he has 8. Well, and turnovers just in general. As a quarterback, has 8, and he has 8 interceptions and 2 fumbles, I believe. There is a James Dean. It says y'all gonna lose to the Rams. The Eagles own Dallas and that division. And then Fernando says Jimmy saying false facts, shaking my head. And Fernando also said, let the Giants and Washington just beat each other all day. That's okay for me. And then Queen says, what do you guys think about the world of analysts going crazy about how Micah is able to express himself on his Micah podcast?
How y'all feel about that podcast, man?
I like it, man. The Edge, I like it.
I think Mike is talking too much, man.
Kendall, it is a free world that we live in.
It is, but man, I'm sure a lot of Cowboys fans feel the same way I feel. He's talking too much.
Nah, I think if you look around, I think that Micah is helping usher in a new era for the Dallas Cowboys, and a lot of Cowboy nations are starting to embrace this villain era, right? They're saying
I don't know. He's starting to look like the Draymond Green in the NBA, man. That's what he's starting to see like to be. Draymond Green.
Hey, Queen on TikTok said Micah's speaking facts though. We need that. I guess if
He gave
if
he gave a shout out.
I
He
guess if
gets
they're not true, I get that. That is true.
he gets held on every single play, Kendall. He deserves to be able to just breathe a little bit. He's getting held on every single play. Let's talk about the Ravens defeating the Detroit Lions. Now, of course, we're not celebrating any losses here. We're just saying the facts. Lions look like they're red hot at one point, and Ravens just came back down to earth. Kendall, what happened here?
Which game is this?
The Ravens versus the Lions.
Oh yeah, well, there's not much to say. It was a blowout. Baltimore blew Detroit. They blew Detroit out. And man, that's crazy because I went with Detroit in this game, but I told them I didn't feel good about it. I had a funny feeling about it. I said we're gonna know if Detroit is for real or not. If it's gonna just came off a big win in Tampa the previous week. Then they had to go to Baltimore from Tampa. I'm like, nah. And Detroit came out flat like I thought they would, but I still picked them to win because I thought, hey, this Detroit team is different than years in the past. But boy, they proved me wrong, man.
I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this lopsided win. I really did think that the Lions have something going on with this offense. For whatever reason, the Ravens had their number. Harv, anything else?
Can you?
I said this a long time about golf, and dating back to the Rams, right? He still has this thing where he gets pressure up the middle, he gets jittery, man.
Yeah,
And when he lost that Super Bowl during that playoff run, I said, if they push that pocket in the middle, he's gonna be jittery. He's either gonna throw interceptions, throw it away, or he's gonna get sacked. He's that type of player. And eventually, next year, he got traded. We were right. That was not McVay's. That's not the kind of guy that you want. You want a guy that's gonna step in the pocket and throw the ball, right? Like Kirk Cousins did last night against the 49ers. But that's just the type of player he is. But man, they played a good team, and I honestly thought they were going to win 28-17. That's what I called because they're a good team. Man, they just crumbled. They crumbled at Baltimore. Like they didn't even look the same, like whatsoever. It was crazy. But I mean, I think a big part of that has to do with Montgomery too, running that ball because they stuffed the run. There's nobody that could hold his shoes in that game, man. I think they missed Montgomery a lot. And I think that's a big factor in the Lions offense. You have to have that bell cow that's going to carry the ball. And they just didn't have that, and they got blown out.
Fernando says, "I like it." Wow. What I like it when I guess he's Fernando's referring to Micah. What did he say? Too much talking. It's like saying you're doing too much. So I mean, it is what it is. And then of course, Queen says, "Why does Micah need to stop talking, but the haters can keep talking?" Wow. And she said, "When Dad gets out of the pocket, he is a playmaker. We do not need Henry." So some people were suggesting the Cowboys need to start trading for some of these players that seem to be in the midst of trade talks. So now says midseason collapse as always for Detroit. Now can they pick themselves up before a losing streak? Hey, this is something, Harv. I mean, I think we saw something similar last year for them. I mean, well, it was a little bit different, right? Because they went they lost 5 or 6 games in a row, I believe it was something along those lines.
Yeah,
And
they went on 8, I think.
yeah, and then they went on 8. And even the Lion fans didn't even, they didn't even believe it.
They didn't.
Yeah. What is Jay says? He does not realize that Hertz has never ever beaten Dak. This is a true statement, Harf.
Yep.
And then he also reports Lamar, or he also puts Lamar happened. That's what happened.
Lamar played a really good game for sure.
No doubt. Cardinals at Seahawks. Seahawks come away victorious 20-10. Are these Cardinals? They are not tanking. They are really trying to win these games, and they look good in most plays. But why aren't they able to seal these wins?
I think at the end of the day, there's this thing called talent that you have to have on a team. I mean, they're a good team. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. I got it, but what I'm trying to say is that in order for you to get over the hump, you have to have some kind of talent on the team. And that group just doesn't have it, man. They really don't. So But they play collectively, they play as a team, and that can only get you so far, man. You need some sort of talent on that team.
Well, they have. I think they got like just one win so far. I think they just beat Dallas. They haven't won a game since. They got a few talented pieces on that team, but the Cardinals are a few years away. I think they're probably going to try to get the quarterback position figured out. Kyler Murray did come back to practice this past week, but I don't think he's a few weeks from being game ready to play. But maybe they're going to try to get Tank and get Caleb Williams and whatnot and trade Kyler at the trade deadline or probably in the offseason. So we'll see what happens there. Good win by Seattle though, getting back in the win column.
Yeah, and like what Kendall said, I mean, we're gonna see Kyler Murray sometime soon. It looks like they are gonna bring him back into the fold. But right now, Arizona, they currently own the second overall pick in this year's 2024 NFL draft. The Steelers defeating the Rams 24-17.
Good win by them Steelers, man. I actually thought I picked the Rams to win, but I had a funny feeling that Steelers going to get them coming off a bye. Just felt strange about that game. Steelers probably get them come off the bye. George Pickens had like 5 or 6 catches, 100 yards. He's balling this year. Najee Harris scored. Kenny Pickett didn't return the ball over. The defense played good, man. Doing a pretty good job against those talented Rams wide receivers. So good win by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are a quiet 4-2.
Yeah, nobody's really talking about the Steelers, huh?
Nobody.
And that's because they beat the Ravens too 2 weeks ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, man. So this was a game that was kind of weird to me. If you were to look at the stat sheet, you'd be like, "Oh, the Rams won this game because they had more yards than the Steelers did." But for whatever reason, man, they hit on tight. Yeah, they just played a really good game. I don't know what their third down efficiency was, but I believe that as far as the both teams, I think the Rams had really better stats, man. So I really don't know what happened in this game. They both had 2 sacks. I mean, I guess it was just field position because if you look at the stats, I'm telling you, man, the Steelers did not look good at all. You'd think they lost this game. So, I mean, hats to them. All that matters is the stat line is a W, right?
That is correct. A W is a W. Let's see here. You were asking about their third down efficiency on which team?
On the Steelers.
They're right now ranked 22nd at 36.4. In fact, their last 3 games, they're at 39%. So when they started off in the season, they were efficient, effective, at 33%, 34%, and then for whatever reason, the last game that they played, or the last 3 games, the last 3 combined games, they have unfortunately their third down efficiency is going up and up and up. Let's hear Jay Fonda says tanking for Caleb may not be the move. He looked rough against Utah and at the end of the game. I don't know, man. It's an evil world we live out in these days, man. Chargers, Chiefs, 31-17. The only thing I can say is Travis Kelce is that man at tight end. Damn.
Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. That's all I can say, man. We ain't got to spend too much on that one.
Kendall, is it anything to do with Taylor Swift?
It's that and Travis Kelce just good. And the Chargers defense is terrible. Crazy if they got all those talented guys over there and they're that bad.
You know, Joey Bosa, Derwin James,
Asante Samuel, Khalil Mack, Murray. They got some guys, man.
Art, what do you think?
So this is what's very interesting to me, right? There's not any outside of Kelce, any player that kind of scares you. And this is what makes these two so dynamic. And people have to probably give them more respect than what they get for it is because of this. How many times or how long do these teams have to game plan against Kelce and Mahomes? I mean, you know what they're going to do. And you're still catching 179 yards? Like, this is crazy, man. They still game plan against these two and they still get away with it. It's insane to me, man. It's incredible.
Especially when they're in the same division too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You already have 2 games. You already know. I mean, how long have Mahomes and or what is it, Patrick and Mayato, right? the the commercial for um State Farm.
Yeah, State Farm.
I mean, they've been together for so long. You would think that the teams around them would start to mimic what they have and try to maybe implement some of the things. And the Chargers have a quarterback that has a similar arm strength to Patrick Mahomes, but like Kendall said, that just maybe I think it's gonna fall back on the coach at the end of the year if it continues on this route. Packers lose to the Broncos 19-17. I mean, at one point people were saying, is is the Broncos the team that's going to tank for Caleb? Because right now they have the 4th rank because of this win. They're 4th rank now. They have the 4th overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft.
Yeah, man. I thought they was gonna be the one to tank for Caleb, but they won. Green Bay's playing some bad. They're bad right now, man. Jordan Love is not seeming to feel good. Not playing real good. Can't really get the running game going. Man, Denver against that bad Denver defense, they couldn't find a way to get some things going to win. That's what's shocking to me. Yeah, good win by Denver, I guess, man. Sean Payton getting back in the win column, but I still think Denver. They know in the long run they got to get a quarterback, and they're probably still going to have a top 5 pick.
I mean, to me, I don't know, man, but I thought they ran the ball pretty effectively. I think they had over 120 yards rushing, but Jordan Love, man, couldn't get it done. He only had 180 yards passing, 2 touchdowns and an interception. But that interception, man, I'll tell you, like that'll cost you in the game. The game was only 17-19, but Kendall's right. Like the Green Bay Packers started out with 0 points in the first half. You just can't do that in the NFL. They had 0 points in the first half. They didn't score their 17 points until the 3rd and 4th quarter. So you just can't do that. If you're not a great team, you got to put points early on the board. And they just started off too slow. And I think that's their problem. They start off really slow in these games and they can never catch up coming towards the end of the game. They're just not that type of team. So they just got to start faster. I think the talent's there. I think they just need to start a lot faster than what they usually do. That's the problem.
Next up is the Eagles defeating the Dolphins 31-17, man.
Yeah, man. Philadelphia got back in the win column, played real good on defense, picking off Tua. Another pick. He could have had another pick. I think it was Bradbury, I believe, that almost had that pick. But Jalen Hurts played real good. Like look, little banged up. He was limping around. AJ Brown is a freaking dog. They got some offensive line played good. Jalen Hurts got set maybe one time, had the interception. But other than that, they were flawless, man. And Miami did want a lot of injuries on that offensive line. But Tyreek Hill, what I think the turning point of the game when he dropped that touchdown.
Yep.
Yes, I think that turned the game right there. I don't know what that was. I think he moved so quick. He was trying to do too much and he just dropped it, man. But good. That was a good game and a good win by the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I'm telling you, great win by Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think the scary part about that is that their offense actually looked like their offense from last year. They were in rhythm. They were actually playing really well. To me, though, it's look, it's not because I'm a Cowboys fan, right? But I'm gonna state the obvious. How does one team have 10 penalties and the other team have 0? How is that even possible? That is horrible. And some of them were blatant. Now, I'm not making excuses, but it's the truth. I think they had a face mask on Wilson that they didn't even call.
1-on-2.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Hopefully the Dolphins learn from that and they go on and win some games. But yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles offense did look almost like last year's offense. So we'll see going forward, man.
And you're right, because especially in the last 3 games, their third down efficiency is the best in the NFL, 54.55%. Overall, since the season started, they're second. Kansas City has the most efficient third down offense at 48.9, but the Eagles are very closely right there, right with them, 48.48%, and then it's Buffalo Bills at 48.28%. Then it's Dallas at ranked fourth at 47.67, and then Baltimore at 46, San Fran at 45.3. Hey, you don't like the stats. I'm sorry. I will say one thing about these Eagles is when they know how to win these games and know how to close the games out. Um,
Mhm.
I think right now they are the team to beat in the NFC. We'll see, man. They have, I believe, the next 4 games are going to be. It's going to be
Some
a
tough
tough.
ones.
It's going to be a tough schedule
So
for.
I will put this out too, guys. Right, and this is if you go back to the Super Bowls, right? Inside lineman pass block win rate rankings. The first 2 players are Joe Thuney and Creed Humphrey from Kansas City. The next 2 top players are Landon Dickerson and Jason Kelsey from Philadelphia.
They're 6-1.
Well,
Talking about the Eagles still,
yeah.
but
I'm just
they're going
saying.
to face off the Commanders next. Then it's going to be by the Cowboys, then the Chiefs, then the
Mm,
Bills, then the
mm.
49ers, and then the Cowboys again.
God,
That's the Eagles
that's
schedule
a
coming up.
gauntlet. That's a gauntlet.
It's a
I mean,
gauntlet, man.
this is where reality sits in. So be careful. But I will tell you right now. I mean, they know how to win, and that's
Yep.
what they've been doing. They've been winning lately. But this schedule is, I mean, it is going to be brutal for this Eagles team, and we'll see who exactly if they can continue this if they can continue this flow. 49ers lose on Monday night to the Vikings, 22-17. Um, Gentlemen, I mean, I know we kind of talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show, but let's end it the right way. 49ers are now 5-2. These Vikings are 3-4. We already looked at the Viking schedule up ahead. Uh, let me
49.
just make it easy for you guys. Did the Vikings lay out the blueprint on how to beat this vaunted 49ers defense?
Possibly, but not a lot of teams can execute that blueprint that they laid out. Um, a lot of teams. I mean, I think what the Vikings were doing last night, it was attacking that secondary for the most part. Jordan Addison has had over 100 yards and whatnot as a rookie. And even got this guy Brandon Powell. I think I never
Oh,
heard of him until
yeah.
last night. He was getting going. That secondary can't. That this is the formula: protect your quarterback and throw the ball downfield. Dallas couldn't do it a few weeks ago, and other teams couldn't do it. But Minnesota, Kirk Cousins didn't get sacked last night on home. Remember getting touched. And when you protect the quarterback, you can attack those safeties in those corners. You can really have success on the 49ers. I mean, they were shredding up back there. Bosa didn't even I didn't even hear his name called last night. So I mean, but nobody's talking about that in big media this week. But yeah, that's crazy though, man. I think Minnesota that potentially are in defensively. Now we gotta hold back a little bit because we're missing 2 starters. Chris McCary is still dealing with a hamstring or a oblique injury or whatnot. So I think getting out there, they got after Brock Purdy, showed him a few different little. He threw some picks and whatnot. He wasn't himself last night. They start that run. They said, "Hey Purdy, you beat me," and he really couldn't do it.
So Mr. Top 10 SC, I call him, Kirk Big Ball's cousin. He stepped up in the pocket, man. Even though he knew he was going to get hit, he did not care. He stepped up in the pocket and he waited and waited till the very last second and threw the ball. And I think that's a big difference too, is that stepping up in the pocket and helping your offensive linemen instead of creating sacks for your team. I think that's what Kirk Cousins did, man. And then the other thing is the receivers, man, they're being dogs last night. Like they were getting hit so hard and catching the ball, and they were coming back and like, give me more, man. And TJ Hawkinson had a great game. As little receiving yards as he had, I don't care. Like, he caught the ball when they needed it the most. I think he probably got like 2 or 3 first downs when they needed the most, but TJ Hawkinson had a game. Um, they ran the ball barely enough just to get by. But man, that play action, I think they went a max protect a couple of times. And that was enough just to run a 2-3 man route and behind those linebackers. And I'll tell you what, man. I don't think I've ever seen Kirk Cousins play like that. He played a really good game, minus the 2 throws in the end zone that he missed. I think one of them was Powell. No, one of them was Addison, and one of them was I want to say Madison. He missed those 2 throws. If he makes those 2 throws, that game might be in the 30s.
I'll tell you this. I saw Kirk Cousins make some great plays also. Some of the ones that stuck out to me was, the thing is with this 49ers defense, they want to push everything to the outside. They want to get everything to the edges, right? They want to get it so the linebackers can get to either the wide receiver or your check down, and then the corners, of course, are everything just it's tailored to get it to the flats, right? And I loved it because you look at that one pass, Kirk Cousins just did this no look thing where he looked off to the right, or I believe he looked off to the left, like to a flat, but then he did this no look pass like right to the middle. I mean, he literally took the 49ers defense off of their stance and had them guessing in their own game. But I think from all the teams I think that we talked about, I think the 49ers schedule kind of lines up for them a little bit. They're going to face off against the Bengals up next, and then they got the Jaguars, then the Buccaneers, the Seahawks, and then they face off against the Eagles. So when you look at the Eagles schedule, 49ers, who do you feel a little bit more confident in?
Are you talking
Eagles
about
or
Eagles?
Eagles or
Oh,
49ers? Yeah.
49ers. 49ers,
San
obviously.
Fran, yeah, 49ers
Is it because of the schedule? Specific.
schedule.
Yeah, schedule.
It is what it is, man. Let's get a little caught up here. Adam, what's going on, Adam? We're not on YouTube because we are live on East West Football. Those that are watching us on YouTube or catch the replay, please subscribe. Help us get to 1,000. The Cowboy Cast will be live tomorrow around the same time, same bet channel. Not same bet. I'm sorry. Uh, Mike Prochet wanted to just verify that Eagles Nation is alive, right? The Fly Eagles Fly. But guys, let's go ahead and take a quick glance at Thursday, right? Because the Thursday night game, I believe, is going to be the Buccaneers facing off against the Buffalo Bills at Buffalo too.
Yeah, man. Want to see if Buffalo can get back on track. Well, both of these teams get back on track. Get back on track. Tampa Bay been struggling really the past months. They start out 2-0, 3-0, whatnot. Seems like since Philly came down there in that rain game, that they've been struggling. Baker Mayfield been turning the ball over, and then Buffalo they haven't looked right since they went to London. They haven't looked right. No, they left their team in London or something. They haven't looked right since then. So see if they can get back right. Giants should have beat them 2 weeks ago on Sunday Night Football. Patriots they came through and put a fork in them, but yeah, man, two teams that are struggling, going in two different directions and whatnot. Let's see how these teams can well they're going in the same direction. Both of them going back. So we'll see how these two teams can how they come. I think we're in store for a pretty good game Thursday night. I think it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, man. We'll see. I think the biggest thing is Tampa's probably going to stop the run.
Yeah.
I think the blueprint's out there, man. Tell me if I'm wrong, Kendall. You know that division more than I do as far as the AFC East, but just stop the run and let Josh Allen.
He's
just
gonna
beat
throw
you,
you
man.
one. You just gotta catch it. He gonna give
Exactly.
you one. You just gotta
Yeah,
catch it.
just let him try to beat you, and I think that'll win you the game. I think that's the formula, because I really don't think they try to run it as much as they should.
He gets too keyed in on Stephon Diggs, man, and it
Yeah.
costs him a lot. Trying to please
So,
Stephon.
and then with this Kincaid thing, man, they keep trying to play him as a damn slot receiver, which makes no sense to me. But
Well, he's gonna play a lot of tight end now because Dawson Knox
Yeah,
is out
Dawson
with a wrist.
out. Yep.
yeah, so but we'll see, man. I don't think they run the ball. I think they still try to go with Josh Allen, and I think
I
that's
think this
big
gonna be a
mistake.
good game Thursday night.
It is, man. It is.
El Jefe at 2349 says every team that has 5 wins right now will lose 3 or 4 more times in the NFL. Well, luckily the Cowboys do not have 5 wins yet, right? I think the Cowboys are 4-2 right now because of the bye week. That means good. That means it's good for us. Shoot, with the Bills Buccaneers, man, I just think that I for whatever reason I don't trust either team right now. I think that their play has not really matched the what their potential can be, right? But
Right.
right now, I'm gonna go ahead and side with Josh Allen, even though Josh Allen still doesn't look the same. I'm gonna go and side with the Bills on this one come Thursday. That's it for us, guys. You guys have anything else, man? That's our Week 7 recap, man.
Yes, sir, man. Follow me on YouTube, Twitter, IG, down there at Cam's Pats Talk. You want to support Cam's Pats Talk? Cash out right there in parentheses. I appreciate all y'all, man. Subscribe.
All right, you already know this is East West Football. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Hey man, we go live on some of these games either Sunday or Thursday or Monday. You never know, we might pop up. Make sure you follow us. And as always, we also have the Cowboys Cast on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's the Cowboys Cast for all your Cowboys news, baby.
That's it for us, man. Like he said, Cowboy Cast, I believe tomorrow, Harv?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's it. Thank you all for joining in, and we'll see you next time.
Keep it real.
Appreciate